Hello and welcome. This is Mama Jess with Skilled Womanhood, and today I'm going to teach you how to tie the most tight and long-lasting functional clothesline. I've been working on this knot configuration for years, and I've mastered it to my liking because I use clotheslines exclusively. I do not use dryers because I don't want to use electricity. And yeah, this is a common clothesline experience. This is probably the extent of how most clotheslines are tied. I don't prefer this because if I'm going to be hanging heavy comforters or wet blankets, wool blankets, that's going to pull so hard it's going to drag in the dirt, and that's annoying to me. So I have figured out how to tie it so tight that it's not going to be a problem. As far as finding your location for a clothesline, even if you're at a campground or wherever you are, I prefer to be between trees because I don't want to dig holes and put posts in the ground, because it's not uncommon for the post to be like this, unless you do full-blown concrete, and that's a lot of work that I don't want to do. So I usually find 2 trees. If you don't have 2 trees, of course the post is going to be your best bet, but you might be able to find some stationary structure that's strong enough that can attach on both sides. So you don't want the span to be too far because that can be difficult to make the line tight enough, especially if you have a lot of weight on it. It's going to want to bow down to the ground. As far as the height, you don't want it to be too high that you can't reach it. You don't want it to be too low that it's a tripping hazard or that all of your clothes are going to be dragging in the ground. So I would say between like 5 and 6 feet high, but you have to be careful that if you're walking along, you don't clothesline yourself. So it might be best to put a little flag, like a colored flag, or even keep something on it like a little rag so that you know that there's a clothesline there so you don't harm yourself. Kind of like putting a sticker on a sliding glass door so you don't bonk yourself in the head walking through it. So I've been able to work with women over the years and see that oftentimes they don't understand how to use their body as leverage. If they're trying to tighten something or lift something, they don't use their whole body, and so they lack the strength that they need to take care of the task. So I don't want you to be kind of just using your wrists or just your hands. There should be a full body movement. When you're trying to pull something tight regarding knots, you're going to want to use your arms and your shoulder girdle and your back and your torso and be squatting with your legs. So it's a full body movement of tightening something that tight. That's how I'm able to get it that tight. So I'm going to move the camera close and I'm going to show you the knots I use. I'll just break it down really quick here. I use a bowline on one side, and on the other side, I'm using a slip knot in a series of friction knots and wraps, and then I finish it off with a couple half hitches that are also slipped. Okay, so that'll make more sense when you get to watch me. All right, so I'm gonna move this up close and I'm gonna show you how I do it. All right, so on the first side, I do a bowline, and I have a special way I do it, and I have a video that you can go and watch how I do it. I'm not gonna instruct it here. You can also do a clove hitch and 2 half hitches on this side, and that is equally sufficient. But I like when I tie the bowline that it creates a loop and a little triangle where I can hang my clothes hangers. Okay, so bowline on this side. And again, I recommend you learn how I do the bowline because it's far more effective, efficient, and easy. Okay, I'll meet you on the other side. All right, so we're on the other side. So probably between like 18 to 20 inches off of the pole, you're gonna create a slip knot, okay? And you want the loop to be probably 2.5, 3, 4 inches long in this direction. If it's too short like this, and you try to put the rope through to bring friction to it, it can collapse on itself and not pull properly. So 2, 3, 4 inches this direction. You wrap the rope around the pole or the tree, depending on where you're at. Okay. Now you're going to be putting the rope through the loop of the slip knot. And this is where you're going to begin to bring tension. Okay. You wrap it around the back again, and you put it through the slip knot hole twice. That's why I call it clothesline 2-time tight. Okay, now this is where the friction magic begins, okay? I can pull, now I can let go. To those who know knots, this is amazing because I don't have to try to figure out how to hold all the tension and tie it and have it loosen up, okay? So I can pull, 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 Remember, I'm pulling really, really hard, getting my whole body in it to tighten it up exactly how I want. And I can just keep tightening it. Just keep tightening. That's why I'm not convinced that ratchet straps are the only way to go, because I can get this incredibly tight, even comparable to a ratchet strap. Okay, so that feels good to me. So now I'm going to take the rope, I'm going to put it back around again, around the pole. Now there's a big V shape right here, and I'm going to tighten that up, okay, which is going to tighten this line up even more. So I come from underneath, I take the rope over the top, and I tighten, okay? Maintaining the friction the whole time and the tension. Wrap twice, wrap 3 times, 3 or 4 times is enough. Now there's still a tiny little V here, and that's where I'm going to tie it off. So I create a loop. I'm going to put it through that little V, and I have a little hole here that I created with my finger, and I'm going to be pulling it right in through here and pulling it tight toward the line, okay? Then here I tie another half hitch that's slipped, and it usually ends up being a bow, okay? If you have excess, this isn't a lot of excess, but if you have a lot, you can coil it up. And that's why I want you to learn the lark's head, okay? Just like this, you reach up, grab that top part loop, tighten it through, move it over, and it's a nice, tidy knot. Okay, so I'm gonna do the tie off one more time up close. So I created this V between the slip knot and the friction and the pole. So now I'm gonna bring that rope behind the back, and I want to close this off. This will also tighten the line even more. So I'm coming under here, I'm going to take it over the top, and it tightens up. I'm going to maintain that tension. I don't allow it to release. Keep that tight, tight. So about 2 or 3 times around. Now I'm going to make a loop, and there's still a tiny little V right here between the pole and these wraps. So I'm going to tuck this loop down and then through this loop that I've created here, okay, and tighten it up here. I'm going to do that one more time. Watch closely. Down through the triangle and through the loop that I've created with my thumb and index finger. Pull it down and pull it toward the line. Then do another slipped knot right there. It's not a real bow, but it looks like a bow, okay? If you have any excess, you're going to coil it up and make a lark's head, okay? Neat and tidy, just like that. So this is my all-time favorite knot. I use it for all kinds of things. For ridge lines, so when you're out camping, of course, clotheslines everywhere. This also is a similar configuration to my trucker's hitch, 2 times tight, okay? So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy your clotheslines. So get sane, get smart, get skills, and pass these skills along. All right, I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.